Hello, Sophia here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you 12 quick and easy Christmas cards using scraps you already have. They're clean and simple, bright and perfect for Christmas holiday card making. If you're looking to use up leftover Christmas papers, this video will give you lots of ideas. Okay, so the first card of the first set of three, I used 4 strips of paper, and each strip is 1 inch by 3¼ inches. And the mats under each strip are 1 1/8 by 3 3/8, and it's matted in gold. The sentiment is put on a strip of white paper, and it's matted in black. I did fishtails on each side, and I added some little bling to the top left and bottom right. And it's put on a white panel, and then it's backed with a gold mat. Okay. The next one of the first three, same cuts of papers. They are 1 inch by 3¼ inches. I put 3 across because this is a portrait card, and this was a landscape card. So 3 fit nice around across here, and then I put 1 strip at the bottom here and put my sentiment on top of it. I also put it on a white panel, and then I cut a 1 inch. The white panel is 3 3/4 by 5, and then I put a 1/8 of an inch bigger green mat behind it, and then I put a 4 1/4 by 5½ red mat behind that. I put 3 Christmas trees on that's some ephemera that I had, and I put little bling in the top of the trees because I didn't have any gold stars. Okay, and the third one of the first set, I took the 4 strips again, and I did 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how I glued them down. And I glued them on a mat that I don't remember the size right now, but all of the cutting is down in the description, so you don't have to worry about memorizing it or me remembering it. So when I put these down, it was a rectangle shape of white in the middle here. So I just put another ephemera or a cut apart on top, and I put little blings in my snowflakes. Okay, and this was put directly right on a card base. Okay, so that's the first 3 of 12. Okay, so here comes cards 4, 5, and 6. This is basically just strips of paper, of course, randomly put down. And you need 4 strips of each color. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that'll get your card pattern going. And they are 3/4 of an inch wide, and they're 3 inches long. And I'm just going to show you something here. I have like hockey card packages here, or whatever you call them, hockey card, baseball cards. And I always cut, when I have little strips left over or pieces, I always cut them to 3/4 of an inch by 3, because you can make a lot of cards with them, and I'll show you that it's on the other side as well. And I have like 3 or 4 of these just filled with Christmas paper. But do it with your other paper too, like your spring, summer, fall, winter, whatever. Okay, just wanted to give you an idea there how you can store them. Okay, so they are put down kind of randomly, but if you want to follow my pattern, what I did was I started in the center, kind of, doesn't have to be perfect, and mine isn't. And so I did 2 strips, and then when I did the next row, I took 2 different strips and I put more on the left side and less on the left, and then reversed it for the next one, so more on the right, less on the left. Back to the center again, not quite, but you know what I mean. And then just flip them again. Okay, so I just glued them down on a gold mat here, and it was no, I didn't. I did it on a piece of copy paper first. That was 3 3/4 by 5, because that way you can trim your edges great. And if it's a little wonky, you can just cut it to straighten it up. Then I put it on a gold mat that was 1/8 of an inch bigger, and on my card base I put a strip of black It's about it's 2 1/8 of an inch. And I put that down first, and then I put this on top. Now, I did my Merry Christmas. It's in black, and it's from Paper Roses Crisp Christmas Sentiments. And that's why I put the black here, because I kind of wanted to tie it in. And you see these little gold things across? Okay, that is this right here. It's from Anita's Art Stamps, and you know what? I've had it for a million years, I think. So I have no idea where I got it or anything. I haven't seen anything like it since, but check out Love from Lizzie, because I know she does all the really skinny strips, so she may have something like this. Or just go ahead and use her little strips across, or take your metallic cardstock like I have here, and then cut 1/8 of an inch strips and put it across. It would look very pretty just like that as well. Okay, so the next one, continuing on with those strips. Okay, so again, I use the same pattern that I did. I just start in the center, more to the towards the more on the left, more on, you know what I mean. So, and then what I had in my little ephemera packages was a Christmas tree. So I put that on there, and it had the white. I don't normally like the white around, but because there was white in these papers and on the card base, it actually turned out quite nice. And I used my little punch to punch out some red glitter for the decorations, and a Merry Christmas. Okay, that's that one. And the third one, or number 6, I should call it, same thing. I cut out strips and just glued them down, and I put a red mat on my card base, and that again is 2 1/8, and it's by 5.5 inches. And I actually embossed it this time, so it's got little dots all over it. And I also embossed this as well. Now this I glued down on the 3 3/4 by 5.5 by 5 copy paper. You can't see it, it's hidden. Okay, so on top I made a circle out of, I picked out the green from the pattern paper, and I used my cardstock, and I made the circle smaller on purpose because I wanted a little bit of it, to stick out around the edges. I think it kind of made it pop. Now I did, before I put this on my card base, I did emboss it, and I used a snowflake emboss on there. You can just barely see that it's snowflakes if you really look at it. Just adds a little bit more texture to it. Okay, so that's 4, 5, and 6. Just by using the same pattern with different scraps, they look totally different, right? Okay, let's look at number 7, 8, and 9. I just took, when we use our 6x6 papers, and we always cut the 2 inch off majority of the time. I just took that 2 inch and by 6 inch, and I just laid it diagonally right on my card base. Oops, I'm trying to open it here. It's right on my card base, and it's on an angle. And then what I did was I just trimmed it off. I took some of my glitter cardstock, and I cut 2, these are 1/4 inch strips, and I just put it right beside it just to, give it some bling. And of course I cut out my sentiment and matted it on the red as well, and put 3 little gems on the bottom here. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is kind of the same. I used, this was ephemera, was from one of my packages. It does not belong to this paper, but it actually worked pretty good. So, and I used some paper here. I used my strips. These are 1/8 of an inch strip on each side in the green glitter paper. Now the glitter paper, you can get that from Amazon fairly cheap. It comes in a package of all different colors. I'll see if I can find it, but I'm from Canada, so if I put it in, you might have to look. I don't know if it opens up on the US site or Australia or wherever you are. Just to know though, you can buy it there. I added some bling with my little punch and my red glitter paper. The best thing about this glitter paper, the glitter does not come off at all. Okay, so the only thing I did different on this was I made a mat, or so I made got a panel, put all my things on the panel, and then I matted it in red. This panel is 4 by 5 1/4, and my mat is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay. And number 9 is I did the same layout again with a strip of paper, and I put a white behind it this time. And what I did was I just cut a strip that was bigger. I think it was a 1/4 inch bigger than this, so it would be 2 1/4 by whatever length you're doing here. So in my case it was 6, so then I put it down and I cut it. But if you don't want to do a mat behind, just do the little strips. Okay. And I put the white mat behind because of the white flowers. I put some little white pearls on the card because this time I put a pattern paper on the back. Now, the card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This pattern paper is 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. Now, I took a little bit of, it's behind here, you don't see it. I punched out with my, not punched out, I die cut it with my die, and I also did a thin circle behind it in white and then a smaller circle in the middle for my sentiment, and then I put a little green bow on top, so everything kind of coordinates. Okay, so here is 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so 10, 11, and 12, I just made a little gift boxes on my card. I did it straight on my card or card base. You don't have to put anything behind it if you don't want to. My paper here, I did 3 different kinds. You can, whatever you have, use, and whatever size you have, use, because all you have to do is make the first one, make this one a little smaller, make this one a little bit smaller. But I do have the dimensions for these. So the bottom one is 2 inches by 3 inches, and it's matted on 2 1/8 by 3 1/8. The second one here is 1 1/2 inches by 2 1/2 inches, and it's matted on 1 3/8 and 2 3/8, and they're all matted on red. The top one is 1 inch by 2 inches, 1 inch by 2 inches, and the mat is 1 1/8 and 2 3/8. Okay, and then I just took, it's a little bit bigger than an eighth of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, but it's smaller than 1/4. So if you kind of just, you do whatever you want to cut it as. And I just glued it down here, and then I used a die to punch out the bow and put some little glitter things on, and it turned out beautiful. Okay, so the next one, I use the same papers on here, sizes, I mean, not the same papers, obviously. My panel back here is embossed with a cable knit, it's like a cable knit sweater embossing folder. I got this many, many, many years ago, and it was on a Facebook group, a Canadian Facebook group. It was buy and sell like card making things. So maybe even check out thrift stores, or I'm sure other companies have them out as well, but thrift stores, online, people selling their stuff, whatever. So anyways, what I did with this one, I used the same sizes and cards, and then I used some of my silver cardstock, and I made kind of like, little ribbons. And so I did 2 strips here and then a bow. I did a strip here, like a crisscross one, and a bow, and then 1 strip up the middle and a bow. And these are all matted 1/8 of an inch bigger than these papers are, and I did that on silver as well. Then I put it all down on a mat of silver, and this here is 4 by 5 1/4, and this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, I think. So anyways, next one. And this is the last card. On this one, I went with what papers I had, and then I noticed, this paper here is a little bit bigger. They're all a little bit bigger. So whatever size you have, whatever fits your card, you don't have to do exact measurements like I've done. Okay, so I matted all 3 in the silver again. Now I put it on a card panel, and it's white, but I didn't really like that it was just white. I wanted to do something else. So I'm going to show you what I did here. So I'm using red here so it'll show up a little better. And I have the stamp that I used on here for the snowflakes. So I'm just going to ink it up. My pads are really juicy because I just spent the last day refilling them all, re-inking them. Okay, so now that I've got the ink on my stamp, I'm just going to press it down. And I want a lot of that ink to come off, so I'm just pressing a little bit harder than I normally would. Okay, now the second stamp you're going to do, just lay it on there and take it off. See how much lighter it is? That's what I did on here. I didn't want the really dark images because it would overpower the card and then take away from the gift here. Okay, so now my other little trick I like is these ink pads. This is Distress Oxide, and these little ink pads are water reactive. So if I have a water thing here, if I spray it on here, I'm just going to do it a little bit off the side here. If you spray it, it reacts with the water, and then all you have to do, put your cloth on there, and look, all the ink's gone. These are the stamps I use, Distress Oxides and the Catherine Pooler inks. All right, let's get back to the card. Okay, so what I did on here, of course, was I stamped on once, and then stamped off once and stamped on once. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Okay, so I put the white panel on a mat of silver, and I also used some dimensional foams on the inside to pop it up a bit. Okay, so that is 10, 11, and 12. For those who want to stay and take pictures, here we go. Okay, so cards number 1, 2, and 3. Right here, oops. Cards number 4, 5, and 6. Cards 7, 8, and 9. And 10, 11, and 12. So let me know in the comments which ones you liked, and I hope you're able to create some of these. Just put them in my Facebook group because I would really love to see everybody's cards. Okay, so that's it for me. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.